Welcome! My name is Caleb Oliver and this is my very first YouTube post. I've been thinking about doing YouTube for the past 3, 4, 5 months and now's the time. It's 2020, this is the year to set our goals, meet our goals, and just do it. So, with that, let's start. Before I start this video, smash the like button, hit subscribe, comment, and share. Just do it all. It's going to help this page explode. Thank you, much appreciated. So now, we'll start. Today, I am reviewing the 4-Hour Workweek by Tim Ferriss. I have my notes here, so we're going to keep on topic with the script, and we're going to keep it moving. So number one, I'm going to give you the top 5 tips, so let's do it. Number one is the new rich. So this is an idea that Tim Ferriss puts out there. He wants us all to become members of the new rich, and this is what he's a part of because he's built this up. He says this idea that the traditional rich people just like wealth, they like money, and because of that they're stuck in one place. They have a lot of tangible things, but they're stuck in one place. The new rich, or the NR as he likes to say it, they're more focused on mobility and travel and minimalism. So they focus their time on just that. Not so much having so many things, but about being able to travel and mobility and do what they want with their time. So he wants us all to become members of the new rich. That's one. Two, the second thing to focus on is the Pareto Principle, also known as the 80-20 rule. And this principle basically says 20% of your effort yields 80% of your results. So for example, if you're an entrepreneur, 20% of your customers may yield 80% of your revenue because that 20% actually buys from you. They don't give you any issues. They know what they want. Bop, bop, bop. They're good. Pretty much eliminate the other 80 because they're not, they're not giving you what you want. So keep the 20. Another example is you may have a large closet full of clothes. I know I do. But you probably only wear about 20% of that clothing. So he says pretty much you should keep that 20% and just get rid of the other 80. It's in good keeping with becoming a member of the new rich. Reduce your stuff you don't use so you can become a minimalist, so you can have time and space to travel. So 80-20, remember that. That's a big one. The third rule to focus on here that I'm going to hit on in this video is Parkinsons Law. And basically what this rule is, you need to set a short period of time to get an important task done. So for an example, if you give a student, let's say you're a teacher, he says this in the book. If you're a teacher, you give a student 3 months to do an assignment. They're going to blow the first month, they're going to blow the second month, and around the end of the third month, they're going to do the assignment and it's going to be alright. But if you just give that student only 24 hours in that time frame, because they have a shorter time frame, they're going to get it all done and it's going to be great. And the added perk of that one is they didn't waste all those 3 months. They just had that one day, they got it done, they produced great results. So Tim Ferriss likes this idea because you waste less time and you get more things done. And I've used this before. One time I was doing work on my laptop late at night, but I realized, I gotta call 2 people and run to the bathroom, do all this stuff. I figured it would take about 30, 40 minutes. But I said, let me use this principle. So I set my timer 15 minutes. I got my phone. I realized I could text both people in a group chat, or I text them separately. I don't even remember who I texted. But anyway, I texted them, got the reply I needed, bop, good. Ran to the bathroom, ran upstairs, got what I needed, bop, and I was back. Checked the time. It only took 7 minutes or so. So half the time. So I'm glad I set that timer. Otherwise, I would have wasted the whole 30 and 40 minutes and I would have got back to it much later. So I believe this Parkinsons Law works. Give it a try. The fourth thing we'll focus on here is outsourcing. Now, Tim Ferriss posits the idea that, let's just back it up a little bit. He says that you should create a business that is scalable, and then once it gets big enough, you kind of outsource the busy tasks that you don't want to do. So again, you have more free time. So for example, he said you should get some virtual assistants and they'll take care of these tasks that you don't want to do, such as emailing and setting up meetings. But really, Tim Ferriss don't even like meetings, so he probably cut that out all completely. But setting up appointments or doing research or just the little menial things you don't want to do. They'll do it for you and you've got it done. You don't even have to worry about it. And he talks about doing this in a very legal and ethical way so that they're getting paid and you are getting your work done. So it's a win-win situation. So to get a virtual assistant and outsource some of your work is a really good idea, he posits, and I really agree with him. And the fifth idea we're going to focus on here, the fifth one, is a low info diet. Tim says that we should really reduce the amount of media that we consume. Less news, less TV, less social media, because if it's not beneficial to our personal growth, it's not making us money, it's not helping us become a member of the new rich traveling with time, then why are we bothering with it? That's essentially what he said. So for example, he said he hasn't watched the news in 5 years. When I first heard that, I said, no news in 5 years, what? But then I realized it's kind of good. On the news, they be playing all kind of stuff. You don't want to see it. And social media, there's so much stuff on there that's not, if it's not making you money, it's not making you better, cut it out. So I agree with him on that. And recently, I gave up social media for Lent. And as I was working on my studies on the computer, I pretty much gave up TV indirectly. And during this time frame, I realized, this is kind of beneficial. None of what was on TV is necessary for me to see. And none of what social media didn't matter. What mattered most is me getting my work done so I could better myself. So I realized it is a pretty good thing to do. So I'm with him on that low info diet thing. To keep it moving, those are my top 5, but also have a few other added points to get in there. 1, he created a companion website to go with this book. And it is aptly titled www.4hourworkweek.com. And he references this website so many times because this is where all his companion worksheets are and articles, and everything he references is on this website. And I think that's really good of him to do, because he could have very easily said, this is my example, Google it. And this is another example, Google it. But instead, he said, here's one example, the other 10 examples are on this website. Go. So I really like him for doing that. You should check that website out to really deeply understand the book. Another thing he talks about, just an added tip here, is the vagabond lifestyle. He talks about being able to travel, but travel the way you want to. So for example, not just a little mini vacation, most people be able to take 7 days, 10 days, but he talks about going out there, taking a month vacation, 6-month vacation. He doesn't even call it vacation, he calls it like a lifestyle, like a mini retirement. That's the word he actually uses. Even 15 months. His highest one he did was 15 months abroad. And that's a really good idea, because when you travel for, and he says in the book, when you travel for 7 days, 10 days, you're trying to rush, get things done. But when you have 15 months, you can explore, learn the language, learn some culture, and really immerse yourself. And that's what he does, and that's what he champions in this book. That's what he wants us to do as we become a part of the NR, the New Rich. So I really like that idea. Also in this book, he gives a lot of examples. So it's very easy for him to do this, I suppose. You know, he's a single guy, he goes da-da-da. But he gives examples of other people who have done this, other famous people who have done this. He even gives an example of a single mom with her children who was able to travel around the world and successfully do it with her children. So to put real life examples in there adds to his credibility, because it shows, hey, it works. He's not a crazy guy just saying stuff. It has actually worked with other people. So that's very beneficial. So to end this video, I'll say it was a great book. I highly recommend you read it. It can really change your life and some of the habits you do. I suggest you read this book on Audible, or listen to it on Audible. I've recently started listening to books on Audible in this 2020 year, because I prefer listening over reading. It just works better for me. Just go download the app. You'll love it. Especially right now, it's a great time. You need something to do. You need something to fill your time. Go on Audible. Go listen to some books. So, before this video ends, just have to ask you, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and leave a comment. And as always, remember, feel free to do all 3. See you later.